Hello everyone, my name's Scooter. This is Scooter's Brass.
Awesome. Okay. I was in the speaker's tent talking. Can you imagine me talking? I don't know how that happens. All right, guys, we're getting very close to the teal photograph, so please be sure to visit the Women for Gun Rights booth. Get your free t-shirt for a free membership, and let's get ready at noon. We're going to get in front of the Capitol and get a picture. Coming up next, gentlemen, he's been on this stage before. His name is Scott Pryor. He is a former, now hear me when I say this, Democratic Senate candidate. You know what? Why is that? Because the Second Amendment is for everyone. There is no left-leaning Bill of Rights and right-leaning Bill of Rights. It is for everyone. And I love Scott for understanding that and speaking from that perspective. So as a former Democratic candidate and a competition shooter, Scott lives out the ideals that the Second Amendment was never meant to be partisan. All Americans, regardless of political affiliation, have the same rights guaranteed by the Constitution. And Scott and I agree that we need to all unite, all pro-2A people from all political backgrounds to fight against the wrong-headed ideas of gun control. Scott Pryor.
Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day in Arizona, isn't it? We thought we were going to have rain a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like we did not get it. Yeah, I did run for the Senate for 3 election cycles as a Democrat. I left the Democratic Party back in 2016. They put into their platform to ban assault rifles, not that they know what they are. And I couldn't live with that, because I'm a very strong proponent for the Second Amendment. A friend of mine at work and I were talking the other day, and I was telling him about this rally and asking him to come to the rally. I don't know if he did. I think he had other plans. He's a competition shooter too, so we tend to talk a lot about, competitions. And I said something about it. I said that I'm probably the only liberal that's actually been on this stage in 11 years. And he looked at me really funny. And so I asked him, what's going on? And he says, well, you're a liberal? And I said, yeah. He says, but you have guns. Yes. My political leaning may be to the left of center, but I'm an American. And Americans have the Constitution, and part of that is the Second Amendment. I support it totally. And he was very shocked. And at that point in time, I realized we have a very big problem in this country. And that big problem is called bias. He assumed, because I was on the left, that I don't have guns, or I don't like guns, or I want to take guns, even though he knew I was a competition shooter. And we see that all over the United States. You see it in social media, on the news, etc. So we need to work on stopping the bias. One of them, of course, is liberal versus conservative. There are about an estimated 16 million liberal gun owners in the United States that will stand beside everyone here to protect the Second Amendment if we can get everybody together. That's a lot of people. So we also have bias in the media. Okay. If you look at the media, you hardly ever see on any of the big news channels, the stations, the websites, where they talk about defensive gun use and how much that happens every single day in this country to stop a crime, to stop from being a victim. None of the stations go over that. You may see it here and there on like a local station, but you never see it on the big ones. Part of the problem is that when they repealed the Fairness Doctrine in 1986, news became not news anymore. It's 5% news, 95% opinion. And they use those opinions, depending on the leaning of the news organization, to bring in the people that want to hear what they have to say because it matches what they have to say. So we need to work on that. They don't talk about the statistics of, criminals versus crime, and criminals that are stopped from crime because of gun owners. Guns violence statistics. Why do they put suicide as part of gun violence? Yes, it is horrible and it is violent, but it skews the numbers on how many violent crimes are being committed with guns, because suicides are 50 to 60% of all gun deaths annually. We need to start looking at media coverage. Okay, did anybody see any of the Pan Am Games back in October, November? Because we sent a whole bunch of shooters down there to Santiago, Chile, and they brought home 18 medals, and you never saw it on the news. Just last month, we sent a whole bunch of shooters over to Thailand for the IPSC World Shotgun Match. Ursula Williams, she's around here somewhere. She went. Lanny Barnes, Lena Mekulik. A lot of really good shooters went down there, and they brought home gold medals. World champions. You don't see any of that on any of the news stations. So that's where we have a big problem, is the media is in league with keeping the good parts of gun ownership off the news. So you have a narrative, you kill it, and all anybody ever sees is the negative. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to start creating more two-way people. Okay? Competition shooting is a really good thing to do. It's helped me be more comfortable with my firearms, be safer, understanding better shooting targets, etc. Start taking people with you to the gun range. Let'sGoShooting.org has a +1 movement that they're starting, that you pledge to take people with you to the gun range. I've gone a step further than that, and I've actually started taking liberals to the gun range, because if they have the chance to actually shoot some firearms, they probably are going to change their opinion about the safety and usage of firearms. So let's work on, if you know liberals, take them, because the liberals are going to be the ones that look at the liberals up here and vote against them. The ones that want to stop us from being able to protect our rights. Contact your elected officials on both sides of the aisle. We got to do that. And we need to change the narrative. I keep seeing people talking about how we should have licenses like cars. Well, a car is not a right. Driving a car is not a right. If anybody says that it is, then you can, Ninth Circuit Court, Miller versus Reed in 1999 settled that. Driving is a privilege, not a right. The Second Amendment doesn't give you the right to carry arms. It protects your right to carry arms from the government. We need to change that narrative. I hope you guys have a great day today. It's always fun getting up here and talking to people. I'm going to continue to be an advocate from the left to try to get more people involved on our side so that we can protect our Second Amendment rights and the rest of the constitutional rights as well. Thank you very much.